The ironic thing about someone like Pam Bondi is she was one of the few people that Donald Trump nominated to be in his cabinet who was actually qualified and competent for the position that she was nominated for. She had served 2 terms as the Attorney General for the state of Florida. And she chose to just jettison that in order to be a member of Donald Trump's cabinet. Same thing with Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. He had been a senator for many years. He was arguably competent and qualified to serve as Secretary of State. And he threw all that out the window to become a racial profiling lunatic on behalf of Donald Trump. With Pam Bondi, there are 2 examples that come to my mind immediately. One is her handling of the Kilmar Obrego Garcia case and the indictment that she issued against him, or that she obtained against him. They had been ordered by multiple courts to return him from Secot prison in El Salvador, constantly saying, we don't have control. We don't have control over him. He's outside of our jurisdiction. He's under the control of El Salvador, a sovereign nation who has said that they're not going to return him to us. And then 3 or 4 weeks ago, they brought him back and blew the lid off of that argument. I mean, they've also been lying to federal trial court level judges so often and so frequently in these cases that multiple federal judges are now of the very clear understanding that they can't trust anything that the attorneys representing this administration have to say in their courtrooms. They have zero credibility, and that's a bad spot to find yourself in as an attorney. But so they finally did bring Mr. Obrego Garcia back to the United States, only to indict him on 1 count of human trafficking and I think 1 count of conspiracy to commit human trafficking, in which their cooperating witnesses are allegedly 6 gang members who they're willing to give a pass to in order to indict a man who's never been convicted of any crime in the United States or El Salvador. But in that indictment, she said that he was a drug trafficker. There's no charge for drug trafficking. She said that he had purchased illegal drugs in Texas, transported them across state lines with intent to distribute. No charges for those activities. She said that he had sought and obtained nude photos and videos of a minor. No charges in the indictment for those things. She said that he had engaged in 100 plus separate trips of trafficking undocumented immigrants throughout the United States. She charged him with 1 count for that. And that stems from an incident that happened in the state of Tennessee 2 or 3 years ago, when he was pulled over with 8 or 9 other young Latino men in a Chevy Suburban that he was driving. And the police at that stop, the Tennessee state troopers, couldn't identify any of those young men because they didn't have any identification. Therefore, the Tennessee state troopers could not determine their immigration status at that time, and he was let go without a citation or a ticket. She has just chucked her competency out the window in favor of being a part of Donald Trump's administration. And then we've all seen how she's handled the Epstein files and the Epstein list, the client list, which she said on multiple occasions was sitting on her desk and now says doesn't exist, and now has announced that the DOJ is shutting down their investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and all of his associates. Which, that's a red line for Trump supporters, man. And she has chosen to just chuck her competence, her integrity, her oath to the Constitution. She has just thrown all of that out in order to be part of Donald Trump's cabinet. And again, she was qualified to do this job, and she gave that all up. It's amazing.